Hello again. So we're getting ready to have a winter storm, pretty much the whole country. And so I just went to the store. I have most of what I need, and most of my things are out on the porch that I want to keep an eye on and have access to during the storm. Storm's going to last about 5 days. In my area, it's not expected to have precipitation, but it is expected to have just stupid cold temperatures. And because I'm in a state that thought it would be a good idea to have its own grid, which is absurd. We are just at our own mercy. We won't get to kind of borrow from states that are less impacted. We won't get to borrow power during that time. So it is what it is. Since people will be getting home from work in a couple of hours, I'm putting my heater on now to try to not pull as much right when everybody else gets home and needs theirs on. And then that should keep me warm for, I hope, a couple of hours. It's very cold. It started off the day about 46 degrees Fahrenheit and went down to a good 10 less than that pretty quickly. And then I went into the grocery store and came out less than an hour later, and it was easily 10 degrees colder. It's now 26 degrees where I am. It was 29 degrees like 45 minutes ago. So, but when I went to the store, the floral area really smelled lovely, and I don't usually look at the floral area, but it just really did. I do love arranging flowers, but I haven't. I just really haven't had the money or the occasion to do that for some time now. So I wanted to show you what you can do. I know for some people, arranging flowers is like really difficult. And so I thought maybe we'll just do a bit of a video. If you already know how to arrange flowers, you probably don't even want to watch this video. Or maybe you do because you just love arranging flowers so much that you want to watch somebody else do it. But what we're going to do, I forget what these are called. I've been racking my brain all day to try to remember. I used to grow these. I can't remember what these are. I don't know. It's driving me crazy. But you'll know what they are very quickly. Somebody's going to Google it or, app ID it or something. And then this, I've actually never seen before in my whole life. You can see these. These are they're like hairy. They're like hair. They look like hair. So they're kind of fascinating. And then I have these. Let me see if I can. This is in sugar water now, so I can't just drip it everywhere. So it's these here, which are kind of fun. They're kind of spiky a little bit. So these were $3 and these were $3. These were $4.25. So for $10, I've got all of these. I've got this in my 1.5 or 2 gallon jar that I often ferment things in. It's clean right now and not being used, so I think it's going to be a good spot for it. I'm going to get a towel because since these are already in sugar water, this is about to get real sticky if I don't do that. And the way that I usually roll when I am putting together a floral arrangement is I'm looking for generally, and it's not even a very conscious decision, but you'll see I did it here too. I'm looking for an odd number of elements. And I'm looking to have some contrast in those elements so that each one can be seen along the backdrop of the other items. Because of the time of year that it is, and I did see some really pretty purples and pinks actually, and I almost got them because they were so healthy and pretty. But ultimately, I thought, let's go in to be Christmassy for the day. So since nobody's going to be over, I'm the only person who's going to see these. And they may have a bit of a time of it since we're going to have some really rough weather coming up. So we'll see how it goes. But they are very healthy right now. The first thing you want to do at the floral market is you want to look at these stems, right? So just because things are on sale doesn't mean they're going to be cheaper. They're only going to be cheaper if they're going to live. It's not cheaper if it's dead. So you can see here there are 6 stems. The other reason you want to look at the stems is to see however many stems you get is how much flexibility you're going to have in styling and in what type of containers you use, right? So you do want long stem is kind of easier to work with in general. If you have, one stem that branches off a million ways, that can get tricky to arrange with, even though it looks like a better deal when you first are buying it because there's like so much fluff at the top. But this is a good mixture. So these are, tight little critters, but I've got 6 of them, so I can put them together if I want to keep it tight, or I can take them apart. In this case, there are also rubber bands, which I find increasingly difficult to find anywhere. So I'm going to actually try to save the rubber bands if it doesn't mess up the stems too much. Yeah, I think this is going to work out okay. Okay, so I've got my rubber band. And I'm going to just pull these through. You can tear through it too if you want. Doesn't matter at all. Depends on what you like. Or if you have scissors nearby or whatever. And you'll also notice, even though I have, so I got these home about an hour ago. I needed to do a couple of other quick errands once I got everything put away from the grocery store. So I went ahead and put in there just a little bit. I had about a quarter cup of organic evaporated cane sugar left in my jar. I have more and I'll now put it in the jar, but that's kind of what I had, horrible and easy to get to. So I just put a little water in there, swish it around, got it. Organic sugar is so much easier to dissolve in water. Like it's dreamy, or to make candy with for that matter. It just dissolves so much better. I don't know why, it just does. So by all means, if you have it, go for it. So then I just place these in here to make sure that they're hitting the bottom. Each one is hitting the bottom. And that's all I'm going to do at the very first, okay? So I'm going to pull this off, these pretty red heads, if you will. I'm going to try to get these rubber bands off. And again, I'm going to put these down at the bottom. You'll see you want those to hit the bottom because while you're working, you want them to stay where they can eat if they need to. I don't know why there's all this tape on this one. I think I'm going to have to cut this one off because it's kind of a mess. Okay. Please hold. What in the world is this? I don't know if they tried to feed this one or like what the deal was. Maybe that's what this is. I don't really understand what's happening. I'm going to go ahead and cut all the rubber bands on this one. Yeah, it looks like they were trying to feed this one to keep it going. I don't know if these were on sale because it's almost Christmas. I wouldn't think so because it's only the 22nd right now. I wouldn't think that would be why, but it might be because of the storm. A lot of places around here don't have generators, which is kind of crazy, given that they're probably losing about $1 million in inventory every time power goes out, which is reasonably often. Excuse me for 1 second while I figure this out. There's like a ton of crap all over these stems. I'm just going to have to go ahead and cut them, I think. Yep, going to have to go ahead and cut them, y'all. Here we go. I'll be right back. Here I am. You want to cut these in a diagonal. I'll show you what I'm doing here in a second. I'm going to get back over there. Okay, there we go. That was hard. Okay, here we go. Now, enough of that craziness. So I got 3 stems here. They make this humongous thing. This is the size of like a very large cauliflower. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, when you have flowers like this, Martha Stewart used to do a lot of arrangements with flowers like this. these and like tulips and stuff, or she would just kind of put them all together way up here and they would stay in a big bunch. What you want to think about is what level are people going to look at these at? First off, this could be pretty just like that, just with those three, and I could take the rest of this stuff out. It looks really pretty as it is. Wipe my hands off. And I will put you up high on my height here. Here we go. Okay, so you can see, even from this angle, it looks fine. I mean, I'm not really looking at these right now. I'm more looking at this. But see, even that just looks lovely and fine, right? Like this is lovely and fine. And you can see the stems become part of the presentation. That's great when you can do that. You can't always, but it's great when you can. And we already have leaves here. So you want to make sure that your leaves are high enough up that they're not getting into the water. And of course, ours are not. Of course, we don't have our water in yet. We're going to add that last. Once we've treated it, it's got some sugar, it's got some nutrients in it, then we'll put it in here. But you can see these are looking great. So we probably don't want these so high up, right? Like that doesn't make much sense. So I'm going to cut these, and you want to look at, do you want a lot of height difference or do you not? In this one, we may not. Usually when we're doing thinner stems or things with smaller heads than this, like roses or, just like normal flowers, you'd want a lot of height variation because then people can experience it in different ways from different spots. In this case, this is going to be a flatter kind of presentation. You've got a vase, so to speak, that goes with that. It's kind of a squat. And then these flowers kind of blend to that too. So even though these flowers are a little bit more delicate, we're going to still stay with kind of squat. I'm going to play with this a little bit. And yeah, like it really looks fine just like that. So you just want to make a little note of where it hits at the counter. And you're going to trim that down. So I'll be right back. I'm going to do my trim. And of course, these will compost just fine. And remember, you can always cut more, but once you cut too much, you've cut too much. So go easy at first if you need to. Okay, I've cut a couple of these a little bit longer. So we're going to see how this goes. And see, even though I've got 3 focal points, 1, 2, 3, I have 4 of these. So you want to be thinking in math terms. Practice your math here. And since I've got, I have 5 actually, sorry. Okay, so I'm probably going to put another one in here, try that, and then another one in here. Create a little movement here. Okay. And see, even there, you can see it looks pretty nice just as is, and it would be okay like that. Not so much like that. And this is what you want to think about. Like when you're flower arranging, if you feel like other people do it better than you, it's because they're turning the vase more than you are when they're arranging. That's all you need to do. Okay, so now this is also showing you that despite the amount of bulk that we had, you're still getting some empty space. And you could go down to a vase with a smaller mouth if you want. I don't really want to. I kind of want to let them flop around a little bit. I want it to look kind of natural. So I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to go do these though. And I'm going to take these down about 4 inches, just kind of to this first rib here. I'll be right back. And you want to be no more aggressive than you have to. My knife is not loving this, but we're going to make it through it. Okay. And I can tell from the density that's lacking in these that these are not as robust as the other ones. So that's okay. It's just good to know. You want to pay attention to what your little creatures are doing here. I'm going to put this floppy one in the middle here. See if that helps or doesn't help. They're kind of all a little bit floppy now that I'm kind of getting into them here. I wonder, they kind of seem to want to just go in the middle here, really. Wouldn't hurt anything to have one more, would it? Sure wouldn't. If I had one more big flower. Okay, there we go. I know on the screen it probably just looks like salad. It's like cauliflower and tomatoes, doesn't it? And parsley. Doesn't look like that in real life. You'll be relieved to know. I'm going to just move these around a little bit. See what I can do here. A little bit more of something. I would like a little more bulk kind of right here. I don't really have anything for that. And so, it is what it is. There's nothing wrong with using, a lot of flowers are edible. Nothing wrong with using edible plants to put something in here. I'll try it just to show you. I know that I have some kale and I know that I have some Swiss chard. Let's see if any of it would like to go on here. I don't know if it would or not. Sometimes they're real beautiful big leaves and sometimes they're not. Ooh, this one's pretty horrifying looking. Yikes. Goodness gracious. Ooh, I don't know what happened to that. But see, even that actually really adds. So, okay, check this out. That's before. You can see kind of with the hole sitting there. And this, there's a little place for it to go through here, is after. It adds a little bit of height. There we go. It's a little bit hard to see on this screen. It's really lovely in person. I don't know that you can tell quite on the screen, but it kind of covers that up a little bit. Only took one piece of my edible chard, which is good because I need to eat the rest of mine. But you can see, like, you're having different experiences, different places, but regardless of where you engage visually, like, you're sorted out. Okay, so the other fringe benefit is that now I know my chard was on its way out, which is okay. I have a little more. But I'm going to put it in a little safer spot. Okay. So, just remember, if you're going to do that, though, you got to keep in mind this chard doesn't have a long stem. So you've either got to bring the water up way up to here, or you got to bring the water kind of to here, which is sort of what we probably would have done, and not get that chard in there. You're about 1.5 inches shy there. Unless I go a little bit deeper. Let's see. There we go. A little bit deeper. I don't want to put the water too high because, as I said, you don't want it to hit the leaves or else the leaves will start molding. Okay. Yeah. But I think that works just fine. Okay. So now I'll show you how we're going to make the water. Okay. No, you can't just use water. That's not a thing. That will not help you. what we're going to do, this is where I usually keep my sugar. So that's where I just got that sugar that I mentioned to you. You don't want a brown sugar for this. You don't want too much molasses going in and out of this situation here. But we do want some turbinado sugar is fine, or some, blondish evaporated cane sugar. What I'm going to do here is grab my step stool so I can get to my turbinado sugar. One moment. Oh, and I can't really do any more projects because I'm going to need the coming week to clean up after my projects that I've already done. Okay, let's see. Where is my sugar? Here. Just organize stuff so I know it's in here somewhere. There we go. Sugar. I have a big, huge bag of turbinado, and I'm really wondering where the heck it is. Oh, all right. This is what I have right now. Cane sugar organic. Sometimes it will say evaporated. Sometimes it will not. But the color is the color. It's a blonde color. Sometimes it says turbinado. Sometimes you can't tell the difference. Sometimes you can. As long as it's not like a full dark sugar, you're okay. You just don't want to get into like full dark sugar for something that's going to be sitting around for a long time. Okay, that's a lot of flowers, and it's a big container. It's nearly 2 gallons of water that it can do here. So this is not that much. This is half a cup. I'm going to do a cup, knowing there's already about a half a cup in there. Okay, so now I'm just going to fill it with water. And again, it doesn't need to be warm because when you're not using straight up white sugar, you're not going to have a dissolving problem. Okay, I'm going to mix this up. And then we'll add some more. This is a half gallon container here. It takes almost no time at all. Even though this is very cold and it's a cold day, this is dissolving really nicely. It's going to be totally dissolved in just a second here. I'm not even shaking it. This is just like hand stirring. You can see already most of it is there. It's adopted that bit of molasses. Some people feed it with salicylic acid, aspirin. I don't have any aspirin. I am going to add this though. This is the little food bit that came with it. Only one came with it, which kind of sucks because, back in the day, you would always, every single flower bunch you bought would come with a food envelope. And I bought 3 today, and it only came with 1. So that's not good. Okay. That tells you, I guess, the times have changed, and you have to ask for them from the florist or from somebody. Because they obviously do have them, or I wouldn't have gotten even the 1. Okay, so that'll just even out the amount a little better. And the only problem with using, the raw sugar is that your vase water is going to be a little brown. So I know that's it is a trade-off. I have not done a lot of flower arranging since moving fully to evaporated cane sugar. So this will be a good experiment to see if the flowers last longer or less long, if they're more or less stressed because of it. So I'm going to bring you back over here. Welcome back. Or actually, it was good up here. Let's do it up here. Okay, and then I'm going to pour it in here. And, some people think there's not a clear process to these things. I would say that there kind of is. You want to not interrupt or make a damn mess if you can help it. You don't want to interrupt the style that you just made in the flowers, right? So keep that in mind. So you're just going to inch this in here just gently. You're just pressing on something that's already leaning toward you and that you're not going to mess up. You can see that's a little bit golden. I'm going to add some more water. While that water is filling back up, you can see, this is a little different look than we're used to. But of course, what we thought was a clean look is actually dirtier water and dirtier nutrients for the plants. The plants will do better, most likely with a more varied nutrient base. So that's what we're going to offer them today. Okay. And this is plain water, so it's okay if I spill it just a little bit. Okay, I'm just trying to get up to where that shard is. It's kind of my main goal here. It's almost there, but not quite. Need a little bit more. Okay, I like how this is looking though. This is good. This is good. Okay, so I'm just looking for when it's going to hit that yellow stem. I don't know if you can quite see it. Okay, I got it just to touch it, which is sort of annoying because I don't have any more water. I think rather than going and getting more water, I'm going to just press it in there just a bit. There. Did it. So here we have it. And you can see it's not that different, especially because this is on a beige background anyway. It's my beige canvas. But I would just say you want to just make sure your shard is fully pulled apart here and it can be seen. You want to see it. Oop, except I just broke it. All right. So you can see that's one way you get to see it. There's another way. There's another way. There's another way. So all those are real pretty. And if you're the tallest person in the room and you're going to see it like this, it'll look like that, or it'll look like that. How about it? So either way, for $10.50 plus the cost of a little bit of sugar, so call it $11.50, we have a beautiful, definitely centerpiece value floral arrangement. Do these smell? Those do not smell. So maybe a good option for people with the allergies. But I'm glad you could join and would be curious to know what questions you've had over the years about flower arranging, because I have just always found it, even as a little kid, I've always found it very intuitive to do. So I've never had trouble doing it. And so I can't anticipate what the questions are. But I do know that just like with Christmas trees and putting ornaments up, you want to focus on your odd number of elements. If you have 3 kinds of ornaments and 5 each of them or 11 each of them or something, so that you can stagger them, because there's something about even numbers that just works us into left brain, and we can't enjoy like the beautiful kind of chaos and sort of happenstance of where things end up. And when you're decorating, you want some of that happenstance. So anyway, maybe this will be entertaining for somebody. It's the day after solstice, but we're just entering into this winter storm, and I'm glad. I haven't bought flowers in a long time, and these look like they're gonna last. So I'm excited. All right, take care.